Welcome back. In this video, we'll show you on how to add a lunch counter on an island and then placing it in the current location where it needs to be and without doing it by eye. Let's get started in 2020 design. As you see here, we have a kitchen that has no island. Once I zoom out, you'll notice that there's an island that's drawn on the outside of the kitchen. And there you go. Every item that I have in here is pretty much separate from each other. Our first step is that we're going to end up grouping all of these items together. We're going to highlight by making sure that we create a box over every item on this island. Right click and go group items. Once I group the items, it's going to ask me, where do I want to group it? Well, I'm going to group it to the corner right here. But before doing so, I am going to create countertop to go onto this island. And how are we going to do that? Well, we can just simply drag and drop countertop on top of this, or we can just simply go into the 2D drawing section that we have in 2020 design. We're going to go to draw, and in draw we have line, running line, so on and so forth until we get to rectangle. We'll select rectangle, and I will select the corners that I need. Basically, I'll take this corner to this corner and create a rectangle around this whole island. All I'm left to do now is change that rectangle, which is a 2D line work, will only show on a floor plan and not on a rendering, and right click on it. I'll get rectangle option and then go to make 3D. Now make 3D will always change depending on what you're placing onto the floor plan. As you see here, now we got room top, so I have an option for countertop, splashes, front trim, but the option countertop will only come up when you're creating a 2D line work that is closed up. Either it's a circle, or either it's a rectangle, or either it's an irregular shape like a star, as long as every line joins together and it's considered as an enclosure. Now we're going to go and select our SL kit top and select place. Now notice that the green line turned red. By right clicking, I will have the option for SL kit top, and we can go to edit shape. And now I can edit the shape of this countertop the way I wish to have it. I will have a overhang on either side, on 4 sides of my countertop by 1 inch. So I'll just select the line, stretch in the direction I want, type in 1 inch all around. This way I can have a 1 inch overhang that goes all around except for the back. Why? Because I'm going to have a raised top here. And notice I have corbels already placed onto my island. I'm going to select the check mark to OK it. And now I can actually draw a countertop that's going to go above my corbels as an eating area. And it will also be raised. To do so, I will select draw again, select rectangle, and I can select the options of where I want to start the rectangle. For example, I'll start it on being flush to the edge of this countertop that we've already drawn. I'll draw it, and now you'll notice the green line or blue line depending on how you have your schemes set up in 2020. Right click on it, make 3D, and I'll have countertop again. Select countertop, then select whatever type of countertop I'd like. In this case, I'm going to select a square foot top. Select it, click on place, and now I have a red countertop around it. I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to go to edit shape. Now we're going to actually edge out the corners, and we're going to radius the end of this here to have a 5 inch radius to it. How we're going to do this? We're going to right click into the first corner, and we're going to go and select what option are we going to select? We're going to select notch, because this is what's going to give me the option to notch out the square. Instead of doing it by eye, I'm going to use my X and my Y factor on the left hand side in the edit box. So I'm going to type in 2, tab to change option, and field, and then select 2 again, and then press enter. And notice now I have a notch on my countertop. We're going to do the same thing on the other end, but notice this time I'm going to be using a negative at a certain location. Why is that? Because we are going towards the left on one of my options. So in here I'm going to select -2, then click on tab and then select 2 because I'm going upwards, and press enter. and now I've got a notch on my countertop. Our last step here is to change the radius of this countertop. Right click, and we're going to select radius end. And in here I can type in whatever I want, or I can actually just do it by eye, depending on which way I'd like it. So I'm going to select 4 inches and press enter. So I can do it manually, or I can actually type in everything I need. Now that my island is done and it's still outside of the kitchen, I am going to do what we mentioned at the beginning of this video by grouping everything together. We're going to select everything, make everything highlight, right click, group items, and I will select the corner. Once I've selected the corner, now I can actually take it and move it around, and I'll have the countertops and everything selected to it. Before we continue, we're going to center this item to our kitchen, and we're going to select it and place it in the corner where the reference point is. We are going to change the placement of 44 inches from the range, and then we're going to place it at 36 inches from the sink. And this is how we place an item perfectly in relation to the design.